all right. Welcome, everybody. Wednesday night, Hanrahan's Irish Pub, friendliest spot in Delco. Our guest, two-time Stanley Cup champ, Oris Kinderchuk. How about a big hand? Woo! I just briefly just brought him up to speed on what we were going to talk about, and he's like, I lived in this area for 50 years.
Yeah.
I asked him what he knew about Philly sports. He goes, I followed a little bit. So anyway, welcome everybody. Again, Hanrahan's Irish Pub, thank you to the Clarks for having us again this month. It's always a little slow during the summer, but hopefully you guys have brought some energy and we can talk some Flyers, some Phillies. Most importantly, anybody in the house play our fantasy baseball? This fan's view fantasy baseball. Anybody?
There's a lot of people in the house.
I got one. I got a couple. All right. Well, there's bragging rights being thrown out tonight, and she made a 2-hour trip from Levittown, so that she could break everyone's balls that she's in first place. And that someone is my partner's wife, Jen O'Brien. Jen, can you stand up a minute? Can you stand up a minute? Because I don't know. You may sign more autographs than Oris at the end of the night. I'm not sure.
She's here to give autographs afterwards.
I'm not
Any
sure.
advice afterwards.
How can this be possible?
Yep.
First thing she says to me, we're not even cheap. Huh? And she's a school teacher.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, I'll let it go. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for making the truck. Is she really in first place?
She is. It's crazy.
How are you living with that?
It's not good. It's not good. That's all she does. When's the results coming out?
All right, we got another competitive family in the house too, so I guess I should be careful.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, Emily's being a little quiet over there because she's not doing so well.
All right. Every time we have a Stanley Cup champ, one of you players, and this is our first time having you, so I appreciate you, coming out. This is awesome. We think about the parade, right? And not one parade, two parades, right? How cool was that?
Well, the first parade, like we beat Boston Sunday afternoon, and we're heading over to Rexy's. I don't know if anybody knew about Rexy's, but that was kind of our home, the restaurant and bar. I think we all had our mail sent there. And but we're coming across the Walt Whitman Bridge that night in a caravan to go to Rexy's, and the DRPA police stopped us on the top of the bridge, all of us. Said you cannot go to Rexy's. The Black Horse Pike is wall-to-wall people. Wall-to-wall people, and then unannounced, they told us that we had to be back at the Class of 23 rink where we practiced at 9 in the morning for the parade. They had the parade the next day.
Wow.
And we were up till 2, and we were pretty exhausted. And so we get down there, and you know what? I think they say it's still the largest parade, 2 million people. And I just, it was kind of scary because we were sitting on top of cars. So the people were right there. And it was kind of scary. So it's still etched in my brain, the two parades. And I think it's been awesome. It's awesome.
You're in convertibles, right? Basically.
Yeah.
What they were in.
Basically convertibles.
And some of the people were in the vehicle with you afterwards at times when it slowed down.
Well,
they tried.
Yeah, it really was kind of scary at the time. But I think one of the biggest things that I remember is we were going to JFK Stadium when it was still there. And they stopped us on the Penrose Bridge. And we're looking at JFK Stadium. And and we couldn't believe it. There was over 100,000 people sitting in JFK Stadium, waiting for us. And I still get some goosebumps thinking about that. I guess it took 20 Canadians to turn this city upside down.
Yeah, and you guys are still doing it.
The Delaware Valley has been awesome. Just yesterday, I down at the SEPTA building, and the guys were showing them some stuff, and first 20 minutes, all they wanted to do was talk hockey. I watched you play. So the Delaware Valley, for all of us, that's why a lot of us still remain here, keep our homes here, has been tremendous. And I think the teams today, if they can only learn that the Delaware Valley, get to know the people and everything, and who gets it? The Phillies get it.
Oh yeah.
Because they love playing baseball, they love each other, and they're part of the Delaware Valley now. And you can see it in their face, that how much they love the people and the fans. Not a hard place to play if you work hard and be friendly. That's it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That people they get the wrong perception about it, because you're boo, but then you're also, got your back once you're doing well, and that if you just put yourself out there, we'll accept you.
Well, I think the big thing is if you're not playing hard and you say something really stupid, you deserve to get booed.
Right. Oh yeah. And like a lot of the guys have said in the past, you guys are building us, but we know we're not playing well at the time. We're harder on ourselves at this, than you guys doing at it. So,
I just don't remember many games that we played where we got booed. I really don't remember, because if you didn't give it your all in that locker room, you had a guy like Barry Ashby stare at you, and you knew you better get your ass moving. So I just don't recall a lot of booing in our day.
No, Mr. Snyder, had the team built, and made it part of the town, as well as you guys, accepted it as well. So it was definitely a family oriented team, where at the time I don't know that many other teams were that way in Philadelphia.
I think the family really began in that locker room.
Okay.
I really do. It really, most of the guys other than Clarkie and maybe Bob Kelly was getting sent down, but there was an injury and he stayed up. Everybody else played in the minors for a few years. That was just the way the NHL was then.
Right.
Unless you were ready to step in. And don't forget, you didn't get drafted back then until you were 20s. So that's another factor that, we're a little older. And, which I never did get drafted, so.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
My draft year, I decided that I wanted to go into pre-med and to play Western Canadian hockey back then and go to pre-medicine school. You cannot do both. So I played in a commercial league in town. And don't forget, Nathan Saskatoon, there were a lot of good hockey players out there. But we ended up winning the commercial league, and then the junior team heard I was coming back because I was young. I could come back the next year. So I did come back as a player. They made me captain and all that. And I think I ended up scoring like 49 points in 64 games or something. So that's when Keith Allen and Jerry Mellon immediately put me on their list. And when I got on their list, they invited me to the training camp, and there was no signing bonus or anything like that. So I said, well, you got me for $1.67 phone call.
Wow.
Worked out pretty good, huh?
It did. Back then, that's when the World Hockey League was starting. And I did get an offer from the Houston Aeros to go there for 4 years after my first year pro with Flyers in the minors. And believe it or not, they offered me, this is where Gordie Howe was and Mark, they offered me $600,000 over a 4-year period.
Wow.
In 1972. And I just, sitting across from my dad, who was the principal, said, what should I do? He says, it's your decision. So I said, Dad, I want to play in the NHL. He said, well, there's your decision. So that year I played for 14-5. So it worked out pretty good. I didn't sell my soul.
Right, man. Wow.
Awesome. Big difference today, huh?
Yeah, really? Really?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. And charters. We didn't charter. It's all commercial flights. I don't want to throw back all that kind of, but we had so much fun. We didn't give a damn. We just wanted to play. And we had the greatest coach to just let us play.
We're jumping right into it, but was Freddie all that? I mean, because I don't know that with all the guys that we've talked to and had on the show, I've never heard a bad story yet.
There isn't.
Yeah.
Because, some funny stories. Back then, we were traveling and we'd go into a bar, which we visited occasionally. But if there was management in there, as a player, you couldn't go in that bar. We land in Los Angeles. We get out, we're thinking we want to go to Melody's. So we quickly get our bags and take them up to the room, and we get back on, take cabs over to Melody's. We get there, and who's sitting at the bar? Freddie Shiro. So we all put our heads down. He said, no guys, don't go anywhere. Give all these guys a beer and put it on my tab. So we asked him, how the hell did you get here so fast? He said, I didn't get off the bus. That was it. But that was the kind of guy. He says, I will treat you guys like men until you prove me different.
Yeah. And that's what you need, right? As a coach, or as a player, that's all you can ask for out of a coach. So, yeah, it's good.
All right. Questions, comments, anything? Raise your hand. Lauren's in the room. We got a lot of activities tonight, but we'll take one thing at a time. So if you've got questions for Oris, we'd love to field them and talk some hockey, talk some Phillies, I don't know. Maybe he can give us some stock tips or something. Who knows? Gotta dig into something somewhere. I see Steve Scalish jumped into the fray over there. That's a bad table. That's a bad table over there.
You can't hear us? Because you're talking too loud over here. We can hear you.
Whoa,
you heard that.
Whoa.
You heard that. You heard that, though.
London flu.
They are.
Oh,
they are. Why don't you go check? They are.
No, but Jen will update you.
They are updated. Just the leaderboard's not, but the numbers are there. So you can check them out.
All right. Since you guys don't have any questions, I got the biggest one, and I just it just keeps tearing me up to watch the current Stanley Cup, and to think that Claude Giroux was traded by the Flyers down to Florida for the opportunity, right? Plays pretty good, plays well enough that they wanted him there, and he elects to go back to Ottawa. I understand it's hometown. Do you think he has regrets on that decision?
Well, let me put it point blank. Do you think Florida still wanted him?
Okay.
There's
The end of my questions.
Touche.
There's a difference. They have built such a great culture there. And the guy that probably helped is Keith Kachuk, not Keith Brady, Matthew Kachuk, Keith's son.
One of the Kachuk.
One of the Kachuks. But they play the game the right way. They play hard. But this has been one hell of a series, a really fickle series. As far as all of a sudden Connor McDavid, he turned up another gear. I didn't think he had another gear, but it's like he's taking it on his back, like he's going to do this himself if need be. But it's been one hell of a series, and these two teams, if you're not watching and you're not a hockey fan, you'll become a hockey fan watching these playoffs. And if it goes to 7 games, I mean, the ideal thing for it would be to go to 7 games and then go to overtime.
There you go.
I want them to earn their money.
That would be the good one. Hey, we got a comment here on Facebook about, we were talking about this play. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Security. The Bill Clement play, Game 6 of the '75 Stanley Cup, the check you took. You were talking about it earlier.
Well, every time somebody brings it up, my bones start to hurt again. But, you know, that was just blocking a shot at the blue line, and Jerry Korak, a big, crazy, dumb defenseman, chased me in the boards and nailed me, and Bill Clement was wide open, and Billy put it right between his legs, I believe. I was laying on the ice, so I didn't see it. I had to watch the replay. But that made the game a little more breathable because we were only up 1-0, and Billy scored that goal with under 3 minutes to go in the game. So that's when our bench absolutely cleared and came and you know, one of the first guys to come over to me and help me up was Clark. Came to help me up. Everybody was celebrating with Claremont, and but it was we all breathed a little easier after getting that second goal.
Interesting. Yeah, the stories going back, they don't seem to want to go away.
They don't. It's the Delaware Valley here is these players, you know, and all sports. They don't know what they have in their own backyard. They really don't. And it shouldn't have to take a championship to do it. But it makes life a lot easier if the fans are pulling for you, and you're pulling for the fans. You don't want to disappoint them, and you want to work hard. You want to earn your money. You know, the crazy thing is, there's too many young kids today that I think worry about the briefcase first, and then the game second. And years ago, I used to tell a kid, listen, you put the game first, the briefcase will come. And unfortunately, money's become a big thing. And I'm not sure if it's agent-driven, parent-driven, everything like that. Everybody feels that they have the next Bobby Orr or Wayne Gretzky, and then they discover later on that they don't, and they missed out having so much fun playing the game. And that's what it is. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun hurting people.
And that's part of, like you were saying, as far as the locker room. You guys are all playing as one, and it seems like today a little bit that the locker room's a little bit more individualized in some areas.
It is. The final 4 teams in the playoffs this year, that locker room was
tight.
It was tight.
Yeah.
And you can tell the way the game is played. You know, it's to get to the playoffs and then not give it your all as your teammate baffles the hell out of me.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, and yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, like I said, I think it is a little bit money driven.
It's all money driven.
You know, with everything there,
and then we don't care about the money that they're making, but damn it, earn it.
Right.
You know, that's all. You know, if you got to stick your head in front of a shot, save a goal, you do it. Period. You don't worry about it. You just get it done. So it's these playoffs have been really, really, really good to watch.
Yeah. And like you were saying, as far as giving it all, Kachuk, you know, saving that empty net goal. It's a shame that McDavid was able to, you know, score on that because, you know, he made a great play, hustling back to save that goal. and then, you know, to let it get in
Well,
there.
that tells you a lot about that. But, I mean, look at McDavid.
Yeah,
8 points in 2 games in the finals.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's unheard of. 4 points in a game. There's only probably Lemieux or Gretzky that have done that. You know? But the series has been really good. I really hope it goes 7.
You have a favorite?
You know what? I really don't. There's so many people that deserve it. Paul Maurice, the coach of Florida, he's coached a lot of games. I contribute the way he plays. Connor McDavid, the best player on the planet, and he's really showing it. Even if Edmonton loses in the 6th game, he has to be your Conn Smythe winner. Has to be. You know, so it's he's carrying him on the back. And another guy I'm kind of cheering for too is Stuart Skinner, the goalie for Edmonton. He took a lot of abuse in the media and all that.
Yep.
But boy, is he ever stepping up right now. And then you hate to see a guy like Bobrovsky do well because I think he was a Flyer once, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was drafted here.
You had to bring that
Thanks
up.
for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Well, you go back and you think of how many players have won the cup that were here. But that's probably true for a lot of teams, not just the Flyers.
No, but it stings because it's us. It's here. You know, we put in a lot of work being a fan, going to the games and supporting the team. And, you know, let's talk a little bit. And you don't have to name names or anything, but, you know, we see the work that Danny Briere and Keith Jones and Dan Hilford have done in a short amount of time. Do you have an opinion in the direction that the new team is going?
You know what? The only thing I can say is time will tell. I think you got to give them a chance. You got to give time. I know they're trying to rebuild the franchise name, logo, and all that, and make people aware of the Flyers. You don't want to be the last page in the sports page.
Exactly.
You know, you want to be part of the 4 big teams. I don't want to exclude soccer, but you want to be part of that. You want to be on the front page. And you want to be on the front page for the right reason, not for the rap sheet or anything like that, you know. So I think they're really truly trying to do that. So time will tell as far as the players. They got a lot of work ahead of them as far as the players. And, they got to find a true leader.
Yes.
You know, and that's important. I was fortunate enough to be a captain in Pittsburgh, and it's a lot of responsibility, a lot. And you better be ready to practice hard, play hard, work the locker room. You don't have to be a college rah-rah guy or anything like that. Just play. No excuses.
Lead by
I
example.
always said excuses are for losers and reporters.
There you go. Yep.
All right. Do a little trivia, Lauren. I didn't mean to catch you at the wrong time.
All right, are we guys ready for us?
You guys ready for a little round of trivia? First hand up.
You ready for trivia?
Jason, you ready for trivia? What? No? You didn't study? You didn't study?
All right. We're doing a little Flyers hockey trivia for the Stanley Cup playoffs. During the 73-74 playoffs, which player scored the most goals?
During the playoffs.
During the playoff run.
We got a hand up, Lauren? Rick McLeish was the answer.
Yep, there you go. Correct. With 13 goals.
Well done. Well done.
Other than you, Orest, I think the guy who had that correct answer might be the most knowledgeable hockey guy I know. Can we give it up for Jack? Come on. Come on.
There you go, Jack.
He knows I think Jack, do you like any other sports?
Yours is it?
No, I didn't think so.
Well, the 1976 would be easy to name who scored the most goals when we lost to Montreal in the finals. Who would that be?
Uh-oh.
Well done. And him and Aaron Curry still hold the record for 19 goals in the playoffs. And by the way, played a lot less games than, so that's quite an accomplishment.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah, 'cause you guys are playing, what, 17 when you played through the Stanley Cup, so you probably played just a little bit less than that.
Johnny, what do you got?
All right, during the 73-74 playoffs, which player led the team in penalty minutes?
Schultz.
Dave Schultz is correct.
That seemed rather
Probably the most
easy.
obvious question in the world.
Thank you, Steve.
Wow.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, well, Mr. Know-It-All, how many minutes did he have?
Uh-oh.
There you go. There you go.
48.
Come on. Not even close.
Yeah, that's one game.
Not even close. Yeah, that was one game. It was triple digits
In the playoffs?
in the playoffs, 17 games. I wanted to ask Horace, I don't think he actually played an actual minute on the ice other than his penalty minutes. But
Actually, he scored the winning goal against Atlanta to close Atlanta out. And and another time, the second game in Boston in the finals, there were some people in the stands put on Schultz on the ice. They did, and guess what? That's when Clarkie scored that overtime goal to tie the series 1-1, and Schultz was on the ice.
Wow. There you go.
Even though he was my left winger, him and Selesky. Tell him where to line up on every face-off.
You guys still go back home to celebrate that, right?
We were back in Western Canada, the three of us at a banquet outside of town in Saskatoon, on stage with microphones, and it was packed. And it was, being all Saskatchewan boys, it was a lot of fun busting each other's chops.
Oh, yeah. No horse, the whole back, right?
Yeah, no, there's no filter.
No filter. All right, Johnny.
All right.
Come on. Let's rip another one.
During the same playoffs in 73-74, who led the team in plus minus? Horace was second on the team in plus minus that year. But who was the leader?
Boy, you got me on that one too.
See that? Not so obvious there, so
I didn't realize I was second.
Yeah.
7 hands.
Bobby Clark is incorrect. Incorrect.
Okay, again.
He was a guest on our show. Oh, there you go. Good job. With the assist.
Big Bird was?
Yeah, Big Bird.
He's my right winger. No wonder why I was second.
There you go. He was plus 9. You and Joe Watson were tied at 8, plus 8.
Wow, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There you go. All right. During the 75-76 season, Horace had his most goals scored with how many?
47.
Ooh, close, but not there.
26.
That is correct. That is correct. We stumped Mike Schmidt today. That's the first.
I had to stop because that was my number.
You couldn't go over it. All righty.
Got another one?
Yeah, we have a few more. We got 3 more, Lauren?
I got 2 prizes left.
2 prizes
The
left?
Horace forgot a trivia,
Oh, okay.
so we lost a prize.
Was that the Clark winner? No, that was the show. What was the winner?
Reggie Leach.
Reggie Leach.
Yep. Good one. And that corner back there, they're hockey sneak fans back there.
Oh, yeah.
Back there in the corner.
They didn't play.
Yeah, they definitely. This isn't bag bingo or anything. They know their hockey.
No bag bingo.
All right. During the 74-75 playoffs, who led the team in assists? No, we got it.
Barber,
No.
No Barber. Back in the corner.
Bobby Clark is correct. Yep, the 12. Oh, now you say it. Yeah, we give the answer away.
All right, who
All right.
we got left?
All right, we got one more.
One left?
All right. This will lead into a question that was, he had a lot of the answers here. During the 74-75 playoffs, which player led the team in points with 20 points in the 17 games stretch?
Repeat that question, John.
In the 74-75 playoffs, who had the most points?
Was it Leach?
It is not Leach.
Okay.
The answer has been mentioned though today.
Barber?
Barber is incorrect.
McLeish?
Rick McLeish is correct.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go. We're out of prizes.
Rick McLeish was leader, had a lot of leaderboard points during the playoffs there in those 2 years.
Ricky was so effortless. You know, I don't think they had to wash his underwear because he didn't sweat. He just was so smooth, so just cruise. There were times that we'd go up to him and say, Ricky, we really need you tonight. Kind of give him a kick in the ass a little bit, but man, he was so fluid, effortless skater, and had a tremendous wrist shot.
Who gave him his nickname, the Hawk?
The way he skated, I don't know who did that. I really don't know who gave him the name, but if you watch him skate, he soared like a hawk, you know. And well, our team had a lot of nicknames. Some I can't say.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lauren, you want to take it over from here, or you being harassed by Mr. Rosen?
All right. So we have a series of 10 questions. Some of them are populated, some of them aren't, but they're just funny questions. We want the first thing that comes to your mind, whether you have a good story about it, we want to hear that too. So the first one, if you didn't play hockey, which of these professions would you most likely have done? Law enforcement, fashion designer, or chef?
Chef,
If you could order only one, which would you choose? Eggs, bacon, pancakes, or a fruit bowl?
what was the first one?
Eggs, bacon, pancakes, or a fruit bowl?
Should I answer healthy and say fruit bowl?
Sure, you can answer however you like.
And back then, probably wouldn't have been a fruit bowl.
No.
How do you say Carl's Cars is the best in Ukrainian?
How do I say that? Carl's Cards.
It's the best.
It's the best. I don't know how to say it in Ukrainian.
Yep, thank you.
I used to be fluent, but not using it for 60 years, 50 years. I have forgotten, and I do remember some things, but I'm kind of kicking myself for not keeping up with it.
Sure. Okay. Was there one particular opposing player you battled and fought with the most during your career?
Well, there was one player that, number one, we didn't like each other in junior hockey, let alone in the NHL. And he was from Western Canada also, but we fought and he ended up playing with the Islanders. And he was about 6'1", 6'2". And I always used to ask him, I'm chasing you into the corner, but yet I get there first. Are you afraid? And it was Bobby Nystrom.
When you were traded from the Flyers, did you say out loud, oh gosh, no, not the Penguins?
Not really. I knew that in my eyes, you have to improve a team every year with one or two players all the time. You cannot stand stationary and just keep the team. And I think that's what happened to the New York Islanders in the 80s. They didn't increase their team. Their players got older. They didn't add new players. And maybe been stagnant for a long time. But no, because when I got to Pittsburgh, I felt kind of honored because 2 weeks into training camp, management called me and said, the players have elected you as captain. I said, well, I didn't vote. And he said, you didn't have to. So that was an honor. To be captain of an NHL team, to me, is a real honor.
Yeah, especially if you're just being traded to it as well.
Being traded, yeah. And we had a lot of fun there. We had a good team.
What's your favorite flavor ice cream?
Chocolate.
Is it true that you taught Schultz and Selesky everything they knew about fighting?
Yes. You know why? Well, because I was standing on the sideline watching and telling him what to do. He's tired. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Especially Schultz. Schultz got stronger as the fight went longer. The Bird didn't have all that many fights to speak of, but Schultz, he just outlasted him. And you know, I never saw the guy bruise or bleed. And I saw some punches that you could hear across the street from here the way they hit each other. You know, him and Terry O'Reilly in Boston. I did make a mistake in Pittsburgh one year. We're playing Boston, and we're a little flat in Pittsburgh, and I thought, I got to do something here. And this was the poorest decision I made. I got in a fight with Terry O'Reilly. It was a bad decision.
If you could only order one, do you pick ribs, wings, a cheesesteak, or the salad bar?
Well, to say the appropriate thing, being in Philly, how about a Philly cheesesteak?
There you go. Who is the greatest NHL hockey player to ever play the game?
I've always said there's 5, because I think it would be unfair to all of them to say one's better than the other,
Sure.
because decades, style of play is different.
Yeah.
Can anybody name the 5 I would name?
Bobby Orr,
1,
Wayne Gretzky.
2,
Gordie Howe,
3,
Lemieux,
4.
Bobby
No,
Hull,
no. You got to go back to the 50s and early 60s. Maurice Richard, well done. Those are the 5 that I feel it'd be unfair to say one's better than the other. Bobby Orr revolutionized the position because Doug Harvey used to win the Best Defenseman Award with 5 goals. Now you got Bobby Orr, who came in the league, and now he's getting 110, 120 points. You know, so I just think that those 5 guys, you start off with a franchise with any one of those guys, they're going to succeed.
All right, the last one. If you had to spend 3 days on a deserted island with one of these people, who would you choose? Dave Schultz, Bernie Perron, or Terry O'Reilly?
None of them.
You jump in the ocean.
None of them. Yeah. No, actually, it would be fun with all 3 of them because then I could coach Schultz again how to beat O'Reilly. Yeah. And you know what? I'd want to be on the island with all 3 of them. I think it would be a blast. Really would be. And I've had the luck in the last year or 2 to have a nice conversation with Terry O'Reilly. And he just went through some hard issues, but he's doing great. Just a gentleman. I have found over the years, meeting players long after we played, that you beat the crap out of each other all those years, and then you shake hands at the end of the game, which I think is the greatest thing in sports. And then you see them 20 years later, having a few beers. 6 hours later, you're still having a few beers, and it's an awesome family of guys. It really is. And that's what I think players today are losing out on, that they're not staying tight. And it's a fraternity. It really is. And not only with just the hockey players, but you know, we get honored by the Phillies May 6th to go up on the mound because it was 50 years, May 19th, when we won the first cup. So we got asked to go. So I think there was like 7 of us there. And so we go back up to the suite. Rob Thompson, he said, I got to stand with these guys. He's from Canada, so I got to be with these guys. So we're sitting in the box watching the game, and this guy comes walking in and he says, I want to talk to these guys. I know that if I say something against them or negative, they're not going to go crying to their agent, or they're not going to go crying to their mom and dad. And it was very cool. And we chatted for quite a while. Always chatted for quite a while. Awesome guy.
Big hand for the Mattis Minute. Is he still here fighting for a championship on the Golden Tape? Yeah.
He's waving.
He's waving.
He's waving.
That means he's in the same track.
Talking about that with Larry Boa, that time period there in the 80s with all the teams in Philadelphia doing really well. How much did you guys all, kind of pull? And it's kind of that way now a little bit. You see the, Eagles going to games, Sixers going to different games. You guys had a lot of friendships across teams as well, not just within your own team.
We did, and you know what? If one franchise does well in a city, the second franchise wants to do well. The third franchise wants to go. And I'm not saying anything I don't think anybody realizes, but when we won those 2 years, the Phillies they want to get going. The Sixers and everybody. Again, as a sports team, you don't want to be on the last page of the Inquirer. You want to be in the front page. I became very good friends with Bob Booth, the catcher of the Phillies, because he lived 5 minutes from me. So we became, and you had John Bunting of the Eagles, became good friends with him. Dougie Collins of the Sixers, loved hanging in our locker room. Greg Luzinski, all those guys. We had, it's a bond. Different sport, but it's still a bond.
Yeah, it just continues to amaze me. And we're talking generational. You're talking the current guys not adapting to brotherhood. But going back, all the guys that you mentioned, they've all stayed local. They've all stayed here in Philly or South Jersey, wherever it may be. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you just seem to have a pulse on that. Dougie Collins just moved back into the area to be with his grandkids. We talk to John Bunting all the time. He misses the area. He's living down in Florida, but, he talks about Philly all the time.
Well, he would come up to me and says, hey, 26. I'd say, hey, 95. And it really was. They were in our locker. Well, they thought we were all nuts. And we kind of were, but it really is when you see even guys that you played after on other teams, you get introduced to them. Remember getting introduced to Mickey Mordini. Well, he didn't know me, I didn't know him, but yet we knew each other. Little things like that, I think, is the bond that you have as a fraternity, that it's a locker room. And it's very difficult to get in that locker room.
How much do you think that the modern day players, whether it's Philly or some other city, they're missing out on that?
Oh, I think they're missing out on quite a bit. Do I think alumni will be as strong? No. But then again, it seems like there's a lot more movement of players because of the free agency and salary cap. But if they lose out on gathering 20 years later, shame on them, and everybody knows the famous line Freddie put on the board in the final game against the Bruins, and it's so true, win today, we will walk together forever. There isn't a truer statement. I actually know the guy, Randy Brown, who's the mayor of Eastern Township, and he was the kickers coach in Baltimore. Do you know the night before the Super Bowl game, the coach there used that line?
Yeah, no kidding.
Really?
He told me that.
Yeah.
It's a little plagiarism, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, you touched on it a little bit. I wanted to ask you, how's this year been for you guys as a team, being 50 years later, being able to go around to the Phillies game and also being celebrated at the Flyers as well for your achievements?
Well, they brought us in January, and I was here for a couple of weeks, and it was really awesome to see. I see the guys here, but I don't, like Tommy Blayton, I hadn't seen him in ages.
Right.
Kerry Crisp, hadn't seen him in ages. I hadn't seen Dorney, even though he lives in Delaware. Hadn't seen him for quite, the guys are kind of moved away a little bit, but a lot of us go away for the winter. I don't want any more of that white crap hitting the top of my head, but I think it was really great to see everybody, and we have our alumni golf tournament June 24th, Monday, and we'll see a lot of guys. Some of the guys don't play, but they show up, and this is where the alumni has to keep rejuvenating. The young guys have to take over, and I think guys are the John LeClairs and all that. I think they really are stepping in, and the Flyers alumni is one of the stronger alumni, I believe, in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's something that I don't think that the current teams get, because, like you spoke about, free agency, and they get the opportunity to move on. The money has taken a big chunk of the game away, not just in hockey, all sports.
Well, I think the big thing too is, back when we were all leaving the game, we had to go to work.
Right.
We all had to go to work, whether you stayed in the game of hockey or you got into some other industry. But we all had to go to work, and then we figured the greatest opportunity to succeed in work, main recognition was to stay right in the Delaware Valley. And a lot of guys did. And some guys went back to Canada, so I just think that's part of it too. They should hang around here now. Play charity softball games. Do get involved in the community, and you'll have a lot more fun.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because Carl had last week he had a baseball walk-in from you guys, charity.
Softball from the softball game back in the day.
Yeah. And all the players back in the day signed softball.
Yeah, you guys were out there. You're still out there.
Right.
We used to play a slow pitch game against the Ironworkers. Man, we were a good team. We could play ball.
Right.
And so could they. And there was one slow pitch game that was like 4-3. Wow. It was really good ball, and the place was packed. I think we played one charity game at Penn Stadium, and it was against the media. And nobody will remember this, but Eddie Fainer and King in his Court, the softball guy.
Yeah.
And anyways, the guy, they put up a snow fence. We had 25,000 people at that game, and security guards and all that were saying, "Boy, the Phillies would like to have this crowd."
Yeah, back then.
So it was a lot of fun, great area, and I just find it hard to believe it's 50 years.
Yeah. And you guys are all together still, and it probably almost feels like yesterday. Back 50 years ago that you were playing with and get together.
The crazy thing is, other than management, and I'm hoping this lasts many more years, we've only lost 4 players, 4 players.
Yeah.
And Barry Ashby, obviously in the 70s, but we lost Ross Lonsbury, Rick McLeish, Cowboy Flat, and Wayne Stevenson. And other than that, that's 5 players. That's pretty good turnout right now. Eddie Van Imp is still in Vancouver Island, and Simone Malay is in Quebec.
It's all that good, healthy stuff, taking care of your body and
Well, I think a lot of people in the 70s and 80s wouldn't agree with that, but who knows?
We gotta make it sound good.
Yeah, right.
We're on Facebook Live here.
But we practice hard and then play hard.
there you go.
Yeah.
Speaking about playing hard, how about raffles? You guys dip into the pocket for these raffle prizes up here. Oris was talking earlier. We got the Dave Schultz, Terry O'Reilly fight photo up here. Huh? How about that?
Yeah.
Got some great stuff up here. We're talking about legacies. How about Eric Lindros? We got an autographed photo up here. We got a hockey stick signed by a bunch of goalies. Jerry Cheevers, Bernie Perron. All right, we got a little business to take care of as well. Again, I want to thank Hanrahan for having us. We love coming here. Our sponsor, City Distilling, for giving us these opportunities throughout the year, supporting us, pushing the product. If you guys are in the Philly area, they're up there. What is it, State Road?
Right on State Road, yeah.
Right on State Road. They're doing a phenomenal job with
Right off
their,
the Coppin Avenue.
I mean, they're just setting the world on fire up there. We're just pretty excited to be on board with it.
Exactly. Yep.
So, again, I want everybody to realize that it takes more than, just John and I. I mean, we've got our wives involved. I got my daughter involved. My son-in-law's involved. We got a lot of people involved to push this product, this show. We've been very successful with it. We want to keep it going. So, without you guys helping us, supporting us, we got the R Phils behind us. I mean, come on, seriously, AA Reading Phils. I mean, we got tickets available tonight. Steve Scaler, why are you pointing at Steve?
He's looking for new sponsors.
No, I think he's looking for one. But anyway, again, we do a lot of charity work within, my Carl's Cards company. But this show is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I think, if I have this right, we're back here July 17th.
Yes,
Is that confirmed, John?
that's the dates.
July 17th, we're back here.
Yep.
We'll be announcing a guest very shortly. But again, questions, comments? It's your birthday? It's whose birthday?
Oh, you don't even know your daughter's birthday?
All right, well, I do shows on my anniversary, so how about that one? That's a good one, right, Stu? That's a good one, right? And what? Nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Nothing but the best.
That's right, Sue. Nothing but the best.
Jen's here. She's setting the bar high. You got the number one seed fantasy baseball person. I mean, she made a showing tonight.
Yeah.
Come on. That's big. That's huge.
2 weeks when she's still on the board, she's gonna be up here with us. She'll be on the show with us.
She wants to know what color Sharpie to use. Anyway, again, you guys have been fantastic supporting us. Follow us, This Fans View, Facebook, YouTube. You can find Instagram. Sorry, you need to grab that mic. Come on.
Yeah,
Right in the spot.
just don't move.
All right, sounds good.
Not to tell you twice.
All right, can you give out some Reading Fighting Phil's tickets because they're the hottest damn team in AA baseball.
Absolutely. We have tickets for every Friday night home game. So there's fireworks every Friday night. So if you need tickets, we have them out here. That's every Friday home game. We also have tickets for Sunday, July 14th, if you're interested. That is the Aaron. That is the Aaron Nola Kids Bobblehead giveaway, so I'm giving you not quite a month's notice to find a kid. July 14th. Not a fake baby, and no, even if you're a kid at heart, you still won't get one. So July 14th, you have to take for, and then any Friday night meet.
There you go.
All right.
Before we end up here, just give us a little bit of what Bobby Clark and Bernie Perrott meant to this team inside the locker room. You were saying it a little bit.
Well, it wasn't anything vocal.
No.
No, there wasn't any rah-rah vocal. No, it was the old saying, you know, lead by example, and I don't think you had to push our guys to work hard because, you know, would you rather ride a bus, eat hot dogs, or get on a plane and eat steak?
Yeah, true.
Pretty simple.
True. And then any truth to this, because the Watsons were on here once, they said that Bernie Perrott wouldn't be as good if it wasn't.
Good as what?
If it wasn't for the Watsons.
Oh, geez. Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sure when they were here, you didn't need mics.
No.
But, no, you
Carl and
know,
I actually never talked on the show. We asked one question and that was it.
yeah, well, Freddie Sherrill said it right when Joe Watson scored against the Russians. And Freddie Sherrill said Joe Watson just sent hockey back 20 years.
That's great.
All right. Before we let Horace go, questions, comments, anything? Did she have her hand up or she just mad at somebody?
She's animated when they're talking.
All right. I see Jack's wearing his Bobrovsky shirt. He's
Yeah,
I like it. Who we got winning the Stanley Cup? Edmonton Oilers or Florida Panthers? Who we got? I heard a lot of Florida. A lot of Florida? Yeah? A lot of Florida, huh?
Whoever wins game 6.
Yeah. Jack just made a prediction. Game 6 winner wins the cup.
All right.
Could you imagine that after being up like that?
How do you go back?
You know, the thing is, it was only done once before in the finals. 1942 or 3. Toronto came back, I think, and beat Detroit. So it's only been done once before.
And it's interesting if Edmonton does win, you know, 3 games ago they were talking about the sweep, you know, the series being a sweep, and now it's going to be a reverse sweep if Edmonton wins.
Well, the Panthers would not have been talking about the sweep.
No, the people.
Listen, 10 years from now, Connor McDavid is going to be in the
Now
top 5.
what?
Now walk with one more.
6.
Right?
6.
He'll be 6. All right.
They'll be 6.
Fair enough.
I'm not eliminating those 5.
Fair enough.
All right. How about a big hand for Horace Kinderchuk? Come on. Thank you again.
Well, here's the thing, being 100% Ukrainian, I do have some Irish in me because it is old Kinderchuk.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, Kinderchuk. Big hand for Horace. Come on. And while we're giving hands, give yourself a hand for coming out tonight and supporting us. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you again on July 17th.